टॉपिक है इंडिया एशियान। रिसेंटली द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया अटेंडेड द 20th एशियान इंडिया समिट, 20वां एशियन इंडिया समिट एंड द 18th ईस्ट एशिया समिट। Recently, the Prime Minister of India attended the 20th Asian India Summit and the 18th East Asia Summit in Jakarta, Indonesia. 20वां एशियन इंडिया 18वां ईस्ट एशिया एसोसिएशन ऑफ साउथ ईस्ट एशियन एंड नेशन was established in 1967 with the signing of the Asian Declaration. The Bangkok Declaration कहते हैं by Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand. Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand member state हैं. ब्रुनेई, दारुसलाम, कंबोडिया, इंडोनेशिया, मलेशिया, सिंगापुर, फिलीपींस, थाईलैंड. इसके बाद एम से म्यांमार है, एम से मलेशिया है, ब्रुनेई, दारुसलाम, कंबोडिया, लाओ, वियतनाम. इंडेक्स इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ होना चाहिए, सोसाइटी में प्रोग्रेस होना चाहिए, cultural development, regional peace, stability, promote active collaboration, mutual assistance on matters of common interest, provide assistance to each other in form of training and research facilities. Asian chairmanship rotates annually based on the alphabetical order of the Asian names of the member state. Asian Summit, highest policy making body in the Asian Summit is the highest policy making body in Asian, comprising the heads of the state of the government or the Asian member state. Asian Summit meeting held twice annually, हर साल में 2 बार होती है. एशियान सेक्रेटेरिएट इंडोनेशिया जकार्ता में. ASEAN+3 कोऑपरेशन, एशिया मेंबर स्टेट है. और चाइना, जापान, रिपब्लिक ऑफ कोरिया. चाइना है, जापान है, रिपब्लिक ऑफ कोरिया. एशियन ईस्ट एशिया समिट में एशियन मेंबर स्टेट है ऑस्ट्रेलिया, जापान, इंडिया, चाइना, जापान, साउथ कोरिया, रिपब्लिक ऑफ कोरिया. एशियन मेंबर स्टेट है ऑस्ट्रेलिया, चाइना, इंडिया, Japan, New Zealand, Republic of Korea, Russian Federation and USA. Key highlights of the Asian India Summit. India presented a 12-point proposal for strengthening India-Asian cooperation. Some of them are establishing multimodal connectivity, economic corridor linking the Southeast Asia, India, West Asia, Europe, sharing India digital public. Okay. Establishing multimodal connectivity, economic corridor linking Southeast एशिया, फिर इंडिया, फिर वेस्ट एशिया, फिर यूरोप. शेयरिंग इंडिया डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्टैक विद एशियन पार्टनर. एशिया इंडिया फंड फॉर डिजिटल फ्यूचर फोकस ऑन द कोऑपरेशन इन डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन एंड फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूसिविटी, कनेक्टिविटी. इन्विटेशन टू द एशियन कंट्री टू जॉइन द ग्लोबल सेंटर फॉर ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन एंड कोलिजन फॉर द डिजास्टर रेजिलिएंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. एटिका, एशियन इंडिया ट्रेड इन गुड्स एग्रीमेंट. Asian India trades in good agreement. In a time when India emphasized the need to complete the review of the Asian India trades in good Asian India Trades and Goods Agreement in time and Asian India Trades and Goods Agreement review is expected to make AITHA more user-friendly, simple, trade facilitative for business, as well as support for sustainable and inclusive growth. Growth कैसा होना चाहिए? Sustainable, inclusive. Business कैसा होना चाहिए? User-friendly, simple and trade facilitative. Asian India Trade and Goods Agreement. Asian India Trade and Goods Agreement was signed in 2009 and entered into force in 2010. It is sometimes referred to the Asian India Free Trade Agreement. Under the agreement, India and Asia decided to open their market by progressively reducing and eliminating the duties on more than 76% good. Reducing and eliminating duties on more than 76%. Reducing, eliminating duties on more than 76% good and committed to the replies tariffs on over 90% of good. Key highlights of the East Asia Summit, POA. East Asia Summit. East Asia Summit, POA. Outlook on the Indo-Pacific. Okay, Asian outlook on the Indo-Pacific. It reinforces the centrality of the Asian and the Asian mechanism as the driving force within the EAS. It emphasizes on the strengthening cross-sectoral collaboration that includes efforts in furthering the implementation of the agenda for the sustainable development 2030 agenda for sustainable development, cross-sectoral collaboration. Key highlights of the East Asia Summit review: the implementation of the East Asia Summit Plan of Action 2018 and welcome the adoption of the new East Asia Plan of Action 2024-2028. India reaffirmed the Asian centrality in the Indo-Pacific and called for ensuring free, open and the rules-based Indo-Pacific. India reaffirmed Asian centrality in the Indo-Pacific, called for ensuring free, open and rule-based Indo-Pacific. Significance of the Indian nation edition. Asia and is central to the India's active policy in the Indo-Pacific vision and contribute to the security and growth for all in the region, regional integration and multilateral cooperation. India's Asian is part of its broader commitment to the regional integration and the multilateralism. Asia serves as a platform for dialogue and the cooperation in various regional and the global issues. Platform for dialogue and cooperation. Asian economic cooperation. India and Asia reiterated the bilateral trade of $131.5 billion 2022. The trade with the Asian accounted for 11.3% of the India's global trade in 2022. Development of Northeast connectivity through the India-Myanmar Thailand trilateral highway and the Kaladan multimodal project. Connectivity through India-Myanmar Thailand trilateral highway and the Kaladan multimodal project have led to a greater connectivity with the northeast and ensured progress and development in the region. Greater connectivity with the northeast. India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway and Kaladan multimodal project led to greater connectivity with the northeast and ensured progress and development. Security partnership between the Asian and India helps in countering terrorism, violent extremism, transnational crime. Violent extremism, and transnational crime through the implementation of the Asian Plan of Action in combating transnational crime 2016-2025. Partnership between the Asian and India helps in countering terrorism, violent extremism, transnational crime. Violent extremism and transnational crime through the implementation of Asian Plan of Action in combating terrorism and crime 2016-2025. China. Counting China has been a major driving factor behind the India's interest in the Southeast Asian country. China releasing a new map and falsely claiming territories in land and the maritime of India and the Southeast Asian countries would further add to the shared concern between the India and the Asian soft power. For India to become a civilizational superpower, apart from the economic might, military might, Southeast Asia is a natural destination to practice the soft power. Southeast Asia shares the cultural commonalities with India, including the cultural commonalities like temple, yoga, epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the practice of Ayurveda. No matter the culture associated with the India-Asian relation, great power competition, Southeast Asia is increasingly becoming a theater of great power competition between the US and China because of its location in the broader Indo-Pacific region. Southeast Asia is increasingly becoming a theater of greater power competition. Southeast Asia is increasingly becoming a theater of great power competition between the US and China because of its location in the broader Indo-Pacific. Widening trade deficit. There is a disproportionate trade balance favoring the Asian due to the non-tariff barrier, import regulation, etc. Disproportionate trade balance favoring Asian. क्यों? क्योंकि नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर है, इम्पोर्ट रेगुलेशन है. द ट्रेड डेफिसिट, widening trade deficit. There is a disproportionate trade balance favoring Asian due to non-tariff barrier and import regulation. The trade deficit has widened USD 43.57 billion in 2022 से 23. Trade deficit 43 billion and to from 2022 से पहले 25 था, अब इतना. It was just USD 5 billion in 2010 से. Is competing regional agreement. The engagement of the Asian countries with other regional agreements like the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership. It diverts attention and the resources away from the Asian-India partnership. Lack of the market exchange connectivity, physical connectivity, digital connectivity between India and Asian countries remains limited. So it affects the trade, investment, business to business and people to people tie. Delayed projects. Since the conception of the project IMT, India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway in 2002, it has faced several delays and the challenges, including the political instability in Myanmar and the financial issue. Now it is expected to be completed by 2027. India's primary strategic focus on the Southeast Asia is countering China's influence. However, India is yet to offer a compelling alternative. भाई अगर आप उसे काउंटर कर रहे हो तो आपको compelling alternative देने पड़ेंगे ना. Allowing China to maintain its dominance in the both the economic and the strategic realms within the Southeast Asia. So way forward, we have a comprehensive strategic partnership, strategic partnership. Strengthening comprehensive strategic partnership could ensure the greater coordination between India, Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative, India Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative, and the Asian outlook on the Indo-Pacific. Asian outlook on Indo-Pacific. India's Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative. एक है इंडिया का इंडो पैसिफिक ओशन रीजन, एक है एशियंस आउटलुक ऑन द इंडो पैसिफिक. मैरीटाइम कोऑर्डिनेशन, ग्रेटर मैरीटाइम कोऑपरेशन विद द एशियन वुड complement एशियन सेंट्रिज्म व्हिच इज अ कोर प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंडियाज एज वेल एज द क्वाड पॉलिसी टुवर्ड्स द इंडो पैसिफिक. Greater maritime cooperation with the Asian could complement Asian centrism, which is a core principle of India's as well as the Quad's policy toward the Indo-Pacific. Value chain integration enhance the focus on a range of the policy measures including trade facilitation, liberalization of the goods, service and the capital, competition policy, infrastructure quality that promotes value chain integration. Enhance connectivity, expedite the IMT trilateral hyper project, building an economic corridor along it and extending it to Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam can boost the connectivity vis-a-vis trade with Asian, cultural exchange and education exchange. Promote cultural understanding and the people-to-people ties through cultural event, tourism and educational exchange. Through central cultural event, tourism, educational exchange. Promote cultural understanding, people-to-people ties through cultural event, tourism and educational exchange. Abraham Accord. 3 years having completed since the signing of the Abraham Accord. Abraham Accord refers to the collective agreement between the US, UAE and the Israel that was signed in September 2020. These accords were later extended to Abraham referred to the collective agreement between the US, UAE, and Israel that was signed in September 2020. These accords were later extended to the countries of the Sudan, Bahrain, and Morocco. Arab countries with diplomatic ties with Israel, only 5 Arab states, that is Egypt ने साइन किया, Jordan, okay, Egypt, Jordan, UAE, Bahrain and Morocco, they have diplomatic relation. मोरक्को है, बहरीन, इसराइल के साथ किसने किया, जॉर्डन, बहरीन, ये सूडान है, चलो ये मोरक्को 2020 में, सूडान ने 2020 में, जॉर्डन ने 1994 में ही कर लिया था, इसराइल और ये है बहरीन, Sudan, Bahrain, and Morocco. The agreement marks the first normalization of ties between the Israel and Arab countries in Jordan in 1994. Egypt was the first Arab state to sign a peace deal with Israel. सबसे पहले इजिप्ट ने किया था 1979 में, तो जॉर्डन ने किया था 1994 में. As per the agreement, the UAE and Bahrain and they will establish the embassies, exchange ambassador, cooperate and work together with Israel across a range of sectors, including the tourism, trade, healthcare, security. Okay. The accords were called the Abraham Accord at the three major monotheistic religions of the world, that is Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, all find their root in the Prophet Abraham. Okay, Prophet Abraham. Three major monotheistic religion, that is word of the world, that is Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. They find their roots in the Prophet Abraham. Significance of the Abraham Accord is stability in the region. Many experts opine that the Abraham Accord are designed to create a collective security framework for ensuring the stability. Collective security, जैसा कि stability आएगा, and preventing conflict in the Persian Gulf. The Abraham Accord can advance the two-state solution by opening the channels of communication between the Arab state and the Gulf and Israel. A solution is Israel Palestine issue, that is two-state solution, communication with the Arab state of the Gulf and the Israel. Amid the recent Israel-Palestine conflict, Bahrain and UAE, the both signatories of the Abraham Accord, are calling for de-escalation among all involved parties to safeguard the well-being and the lives of the people involved. De-escalation. Okay, economic significance. The trade between the Israel and the other West Asian countries increased by 74% between 2021 and 2022. The trade between Israel and other West Asian countries increased by 74% between 2021 and 2022. Okay, economic significance. The trade between the Israel and the other West Asian countries increased by 74%. The trade between the Israel and other West Asian countries increased by the 74%. Religious significance. The Abraham Accord also opened the door for company it is to visit the historic religious site in Israel, such as the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Cooperation in technology. Okay, for instance, the prosperity green agreement and blue agreement between the Israel, green agreement, blue agreement. किस किस्म में? Israel, UAE and Jordan. Israel, UAE and Jordan determine that a solar field to supply electricity to Israel would be established in Jordan. जो solar field होगी जो electricity supply करेगी वो Jordan में होगा. By the desalination plant in Israel would deliver water to Jordan. Okay, desalination plant in Israel, water to Jordan, solar field to supply electricity to Israel. Okay, a number of Emirati students have enrolled in Israeli University, Emirati. And Bahrain has also embraced the prospect for shared educational activities and signed a number of agreements with Israel to advance the student and the professor exchange. Emerging challenge for the Abraham Accord: changing geopolitical alliances in West Asia. The region of the West Asia attracts the world because of the existence of the main source of the energy. Britain and France, they ruled over the Arab countries from the beginning of the 20th century till the decades after the Second World War. The US started to grab West Asia in its command. The growing involvement of the Russia and China has introduced new complexities to the region's political landscape. Significance for India regional cooperation. Accords have laid to the foundation for expanded regional cooperation, multilateral cooperation. A concrete illustration of this is the establishment of I2U2, that is India, Israel, US and UAE. The focus of I2U2 will be on areas such as water, energy, transportation, space, health, food security. Economic opportunity. The normalization of relations between the Israel and the countries could potentially open other new economic opportunities for India. The vibrant Indian diaspora in the Gulf now has the convenience of direct flight between the UAE, Bahrain and Israel. Palestinian issue. The Abraham Accords were criticized for not effectively addressing the fundamental cause of the Palestinian conflict. Recently, the Gaza-based group Hamas, they mounted a mass-scale attack against Israel. Antipathy towards Iran. The Abraham Accords were perceived to be motivated by the shared concern toward the Iran's nuclear program and the regional influence. Iran का nuclear program and the regional influence. China-Saudi Iran diplomacy. The China-backed Saudi-Iranian deal is seen as a setback to efforts to build a regional anti-Iran coalition. जो कि ये सब एंटी ईरान कोलिशन बना रहे थे, लेकिन अब ये हो जाएगी. दिस इज अ मेन ड्राइवर विच एंटी ईरान कोलिशन वाज अ मेन ड्राइवर ऑफ द अब्राहम अकॉर्ड. बट ये तो हो गया. इट को डिले इजराइलीज अटेम्प्ट टू नॉर्मलाइज टाइज विद सऊदी अरेबिया. रशिया व्यूज चाइना as a growing diplomatic assertiveness in the Middle East, which was evident by his brokering of the Saudi Arabia-Iran normalization deal as a positive step towards the multipolar regional order. Internal opposition. The country that signed the call, there was a segment of the population that opposed the normalization of the Israeli case of the Middle East in the past conflict means that while the government relation might impose people-to-people ties to take longer to develop. People-to-people ties would take longer to develop. Okay. Government-to-government relation might improve, but people-to-people ties would take longer to develop. Okay, next is conclusion. The Abraham Accord represents a significant step towards the fostering the peace and the stability in the West Asia. By establishing diplomatic relations, the economic cooperation between Israel and several Arab nations, it has opened doors for increased regional cooperation. Okay, however, in the context of the recent Israel-Palestinian conflict, it's difficult to envision how the Abraham Accord and the expansion can achieve the peace or stability even in the short term. Sustainable peace requires addressing the root cause of the conflict, which is the Israeli and Palestinian issue. India-Saudi Arabia relation. Recently, the Indian Prime Minister and the Saudi Crown Prince co-chaired its first summit-level meeting of the India. Recently, the Indian Prime Minister and the Saudi Crown Prince co-chaired its first summit-level meeting of the India-Saudi Arabia Strategic Partnership Council. इंडिया और सऊदी अरेबिया के बीच में स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप काउंसिल होती थी की हेडिंग ऑफ द मेन डिसीजन टू एक्सपर्टाइज द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ द 50 बिलियन वेस्ट कोस्ट रिफाइनरी प्रोजेक्ट. ओके, वेस्ट कोस्ट रिफाइनरी प्रोजेक्ट कितने बिलियन का? 50 बिलियन. 50 बिलियन वेस्ट कोस्ट रिफाइनरी प्रोजेक्ट. 50 बिलियन वेस्ट कोस्ट, $50 बिलियन वेस्ट कोस्ट रिफाइनरी प्रोजेक्ट. इट मोर द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ 60 मिलियन टन रिफाइनरी भी होगी, कम पेट्रोकेमिकल कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑफ द महाराष्ट्र कोस्ट. ओके, 50 बिलियन वेस्ट कोस्ट रिफाइनरी प्रोजेक्ट कहाँ पे होगा? महाराष्ट्र कोस्ट में. 60 मिलियन का होगा 10 रिफाइनरी कम फार्मा पेट्रोकेमिकल कॉम्प्लेक्स. इट विल बी द कोलैबोरेटिव एफर्ट बिटवीन द इंडिया, सऊदी अरेबिया एंड अबू धाबी. डिस्कशन रिगार्डिंग द पॉसिबल cooperation in the various infrastructure sectors including the power grid, gas grid, optical grid and fiber network. MOU signed in the field of the new and renewable energy. Okay, digitalization and electronic manufacturing, enhancing bilateral investment, seawater desalination, etc. The India-Saudi Arabia Strategic Partnership Council, it was set up in 2019. India is the fourth country with which the Riyadh, that is Saudi Arabia, forms such a partnership. इसने यूके के साथ ही स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप काउंसिल साइन करी है. UK, France और China. UK, France, China and India. To establish a high-level council to steer the Indo-Saudi relations, the Committee on the Political Cooperation, Security Cooperation, Cultural Cooperation, Committee on Economy and Investment. What is the significance of Saudi Arabia for India? Economic partnership. Trade with Saudi Arabia accounted for 4.3% of India's total trade. Saudi Arabia is a key partner for ensuring the India's energy security and was the third largest crude and the petroleum product source for financial 2023. Third largest. Saudi Arabia's strategic location in West Asia makes it crucial to the India's foreign policy priorities in the region. Saudi Arabia's strategic location in West Asia. Saudi Arabia's strategic location in West Asia make it very crucial to India's foreign policy priorities in the region, including advancing India's look-west policy and cooperation on the prolonged India-Middle East-Europe economic corridor, defense and security. Security cooperation between both the countries is difficult in is very significant in combating the terrorism and financing, as well as the areas of the cyber security, maritime security, combating transnational crime, narcotics and drug trafficking. Shared interest and the multilateral forums and organizations. Saudi Arabia supports India's call for the comprehensive review of the UNSC. Overview of India-Saudi Arabia relation. It began in 1947 and the bilateral is elevated to a strategic partnership in 2010. By India is Saudi Arabia's second largest trade partner. India जो है वो सऊदी अरेबिया का second largest trade partner है, and Saudi Arabia is India's fourth largest trade partner. Okay. By it exercise Al Mohad Al Hindi. Okay. Saudi Arabia can play a key role in expediting the stalled India-Gulf Cooperation Council India-Gulf. Saudi Arabia can play an expediting the stalled India-Gulf Cooperation Council GC and free trade agreement negotiation. There are more than 2.4 million Indian expatriates gainfully employed in the Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is home to the holy cities of the Makkah and Medina, known for the annual Hajj and the Umrah pilgrimage. Challenges for the relation. Regional conflict in the Middle East. The complex and the multidimensional politics of the Middle East region pose a very challenges. Very complex politics, multidimensional politics of the Middle East. Issues like exploitation of the Indian workers. Saudi is policy to provide more jobs to its citizens and more tax on the migrants, hamper the bilateral decision on the field of the labor and the human resource. Saudi Arabia is historically close ties with the Pakistan, India is highly dependent on Saudi Arabia for crude oil and natural gas import. OPEC countries charge Asian premium OPEC countries, they charge Asian premium. That extra charges for the Asian countries while selling oil in comparison to the Western countries. Asian premium. Trade deficit. India's trade deficit with Saudi Arabia reached an all-time high in the fiscal year of 2022 for a balanced approach. India and Saudi Arabia will both have to strike a very balance in dealing with each other's adversaries. Is balance. United engagement beyond the trade and commerce. Both countries would need to improve the political exchanges and cultural exchanges to realize the vision of the strategic partnership. Political exchange, cultural exchange, labor, ensuring the welfare and the protection of the large Indian expatriate community in South Asia is a key priority. Counter-terrorism, strengthen the cooperation and the counter-terrorism effort in the intelligence sharing to combat the extremism and ensure stability. Strengthen cooperation in counter-terrorism effort and intelligence sharing to combat extremism and ensure stability in the region. News in South, International Organization of Legal Metrology. International Organization of Legal Metrology certificate. India has become International Organization Certificate Issuing Authority. International Organization of Legal Metrology certificate system for issuing, registering and using OML circuit and the associated report for measuring instrument, thermometer, clinical and thermometer sector significant. Associated. Okay, पहले तो certificate system for issuing certificate, registering and using OML certificate and the associate test report for measuring instrument, example thermometer, clinical thermometer testing, increase in export, earning of foreign exchange and generation of employment. International Organization of Legal Metrology headquarter Paris है 1955 में बना था. डेवलप्स मॉडल रेगुलेशन स्टैंडर्ड एंड रिलेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर यूज बाय लीगल मेट्रोलॉजी अथॉरिटीज एंड इंडस्ट्री. मेंबर स्टेट कितनी है? 64 है. इंडिया इसका मेंबर है. सो इसका इस बार बना है सर्टिफिकेट इशूइंग अथॉरिटी. यूनाइटेड नेशन कमीशन ऑन इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड लॉ. इंडिया हॉज द इनॉग्रेशनल यूनिसेट्रल साउथ एशिया कॉन्फ्रेंस. यूनिसेट्रल इट वाज हैपेंड 1966. वो 1955 में था लीगल मेट्रोलॉजी और ये 1966 में है लॉ ट्रेड लॉ. A subsidiary body of the General Assembly of the Union with a mandate for the further harmonization and unification of the law of international trade is a committee of 70 member states which is elected by the General Assembly. Members are elected for term of 6 years. India is member till 2028. Unilateral is not a part of WTO. Is it a part of WTO? No. WTO, World Trade Organization, deals with the trade policy issues where the unilateral deals with the law applicable to private properties. Okay, in international transaction and is not involved in state-to-state issue. LC9 grouping. L69 grouping in a meeting hosted by India called for the reform of UNSC. L69 grouping. L69 is a pro-reform grouping that includes developing countries from Africa, Latin America and the Caribbean, Asian Pacific. The countries were united by a common desire to achieve the comprehensive reform of the UNSC and strengthen the multilateralism. India is a leading country in L69. 5i Alliance. It is an intelligence sharing arrangement between the US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. 5i कौन से? US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. US, UK, Canada. Under this, the intelligence agencies of these 5 countries, they share signal intelligence. The intelligence agency of these countries, they share signal, military and human intelligence among themselves. Share signal, military intelligence and the human intelligence among themselves. Okay, just wait a second. इकोनॉमी पढ़ रहा है. थर्ड टॉपिक है इसका. Okay, let's do it. Gross domestic product GDP estimation in India. Ministry of the Finance issued clarification regarding the ongoing debate around the accuracy of the April-June 2000 is GDP data. GDP, it measures the monetary value of the final goods and services. This data that are brought by the final user produced in a country in a given period of time. Monetary value of the final goods and services produced in a country in a given period of time, say a quarter in a year. India recorded a GDP growth of 7.8% during the April-June period of 2023 as per the income of the production approach, the highest in the past 4 quarters. It was on the back of double-digit expansion in the service sector which formed. Okay, India recorded a real GDP growth of 7.8% as per the income or production approach, the highest in the past 4 quarters. So it was on the back of double-digit expansion in the services sector. This formed 56% of the gross value addition. Critics argued that these GDP figures are inflated as they do not accurately reflect the impact of inflation on the GDP growth. Okay, GDP calculation approaches. There are 3 approaches to calculating GDP of a country. Okay, पहले ये पढ़ लेते हैं. Estimation of GDP, empirical reconciliation. The 3 methods. प्रोडक्ट और द वैल्यू एडेड मेथड इसे क्रिएशन कहते हैं. इसमें नेट इनडायरेक्ट एसेट कंजप्शन ऑफ द फिक्स्ड कैपिटल, नेट वैल्यू एडेड इन द प्राइमरी सेक्टर, नेट वैल्यू एडेड इन द सेकेंडरी सेक्टर, नेट वैल्यू इन द थर्ड सेक्टर, जीडीपी एमपी. ओके, इसमें नेट इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस होता है, कंजम्पशन ऑफ द फिक्स्ड कैपिटल, नेट वैल्यू एडेड, तो कंपनसेशन ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज़, ऑपरेटिंग सरप्लस, रेंट, इंटरेस्ट, प्रॉफिट, ये इनकम मेथड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है। कंजम्पशन ऑफ एम्प्लॉय, ऑपरेटिंग सरप्लस, मिक्स्ड इनकम ऑफ सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड, GDP-MP। एक्सपेंडिचर मेथड डिस्पोजल, प्राइवेट फाइनल कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर, गवर्नमेंट फाइनल कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर, प्राइवेट फाइनल कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर, गवर्नमेंट फाइनल कंजम्पशन, ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन, नेट एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ द गुड्स एंड सर्विस। NNPFC or NI, it can be calculated at the formula national income is equal to GDP-MP GDP। national income में GDP में से आप depreciation माइनस करो, नेट इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस माइनस करो, NFIA माइनस करो। ओके, प्रोडक्शन ऑफ द वैल्यू वो एडेड अप्रोच, इट्स सम is the value added at each stage of production, whereas the value added is defined as the total sales less than value of intermediate input into the production process. Income approach, it matches the total income earned by the factors of the production, earned income by all the factors of production and income including the wages paid to the labor, the rent earned by the land, the return on the capital in the form of interest, as well as corporate profit, expenditure profit. This measures the total expenditure incurred by all entities on goods and service within a domestic boundaries of a country. And the growth in three approaches: income, expenditure, value added approach. And growth rate in the approach should be the same. However, the variation in the data collection and the processing often lead to statistical discrepancy. They are often cached within the three, which are taken into account while making the final calculation. Present GDP calculation methodology in India income method. Government of India follows the consistent practice of using the income side estimate to income method. Okay, income side estimate to compute the economic growth, real GDP and nominal GDP. The Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation calculate the quarterly gross value added at constant price 2011 per real GDP and the current price. Constant price for real GDP, current price for nominal GDP. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation calculate the gross value added 2011 पर ऐसा constant price में real GDP और current price में nominal GDP. GDP deflator. The GDP deflator, also called the implicit price deflator, is a measure of inflation. Okay, explain. The GDP deflator, also called implicit price deflator, is a measure of inflation. It is the ratio of the nominal GDP to the real GDP. Okay, GDP deflator, also called implicit price deflator, is a measure of inflation. It is the ratio of nominal GDP to the real GDP. Nominal to the real. This GDP deflator is also called implicit price deflator. This ratio helps show the extent to which the increase in GDP has happened on account of the higher prices rather than increase in output. Nominal GDP does not take inflation into account, but the real GDP does. This is the reason that nominal GDP is more often higher than the real GDP. Challenges with current GDP calculation methodology across data. The GDP calculation depends on the accuracy and the credibility of the available data. Outdated data in various sectors of the economy provide an inaccurate picture of the economic activity. Also, in India's GDP results declaration cycle runs for 3 years. GDP results declaration cycle runs for 3 years. Effectively, the accurate data for one financial year come through after a lag of 3 years. Accounting unorganized sector. Presently, GDP computational methodology uses data from the organized sector as a proxy for the unorganized sector. Accounting unorganized sector, accuracy of data exclusion. Not all productivity activities including GDP, for example the unpaid work such as that performed in the home or by the volunteers and the black market activity, are not included because they are difficult to measure in the value accurately. But GDP is not a very good marker to measure development. Misleading growth. GDP is not a measure of the overall standard of living or the well-being of a country. Many key goods including the peacefulness, environmental protection or the family bonding, they are not many key goods जैसे कि peacefulness है कि रही, environmental protection और family bonding, they are not measured in GDP because they do not involve transaction. तो misleading growth, peace है कि नहीं, environmental protection, family bond अच्छा है कि नहीं. Inclusion of social harm. GDP even calculates the social harm if it generates a positive economic activity. For instance, a train crash which generates rupees 1 billion worth of track repairs. Train crash हुई which generates rupees 1 billion worth of track repair, medical bill, funeral cost is deemed by this measure as beneficial, as an uninterrupted service which generates rupees 1 billion in sale. Non-inclusion of the social and environmental aspect. It does not allow for assessment of the social aspect of the people's life, state of health, social aspect नहीं है. नॉन इंक्लूजन ऑफ नाइदर द सोशल एस्पेक्ट इंक्लूड किया जाता है, ना एनवायरमेंटल, क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन, लेंथ ऑफ टाइम फॉर लीजर एक्सेट्रा, और अकाउंटिंग फॉर नेचुरल कैपिटल. वे फॉरवर्ड बेस ईयर अपडेशन. रेगुलर अपडेशन ऑफ द बेस ईयर इज रिक्वायर्ड in order to maintain the accuracy of the volume estimate. Rate of GDP. The current base year 2011 which is more than a decade old, a double deflation. Countries can take steps to adopt double deflation. It means that the output and the inputs are deflated separately using relevant output indices and input price input price indices. Double deflation. Countries can take steps to adopt double deflation. Timely data collection. Then data collect कर लिया, उसे स्टोरेज करना, प्रोसेसिंग करना, स्पेशली विद द हेल्प ऑफ मशीन टूल्स, बिग डेटा एंड एआई कैन इंक्रीज द ऑक्यूपेंसी ऑफ द जीडीपी एस्टिमेशन. मेजरमेंट ऑफ प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी. ऑल प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी ऑफ एन इकोनॉमी irrespective of the economic transaction such as voluntary work, unpaid productive activities of the economy irrespective of the economic transaction. इसमें नहीं होता, like voluntary work, unpaid household work, they can be included in the GDP figure. Now cross border payment. G20 का टैक्स प्रिंट 2023 हुआ था, was to promote the innovative solution aid and implement the cross border payment. Tax print, innovative solution, cross border payment. More about the G20 tax print 2023 initiative of the Reserve Bank of India and the Bank for the International Settlement (BIA), Bank for International Settlement Innovation Hub. G20 nations have agreed to promote the cross-border payment as launched in the G20 roadmap for enhancing the cross-border payment. Further, on the standing of the G20 summit, India has proposed to expand its presence for cross-border bill payment in the UK through the bilateral bill payment system. भारत बिल पेमेंट सिस्टम BBPS. यूके में BBPS. यूके में भारत बिल पेमेंट सिस्टम. यूके में भारत बिल पेमेंट सिस्टम. About cross-border payment, it is a type of transaction that is between the financial institution, the business, and the individual. It is a type cross-border payment. It's a type of transaction between financial institution, business, and individual where the sender and the recipient are based in separate countries. The cross-border payment market value is estimated to 190 trillion in 2023 and expected to reach 290 trillion by 2030. Common types of the cross-border payment type: international wire transfer. It involves the sender providing their bank with instruction to send money to a recipient in another country using Swiss code to transfer from one bank to another in a different country. Wire transfer. Digital wallet using products such as PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, suitable for small transaction. Okay. International money orders, paper-based payment method that can be sent through the mail or transmitted electronically using a third-party provider. Credit card transaction. Business can accept payments from customers in different countries to accepted credit card. Cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. They are decentralized digital currency that can be used to make cross-border transaction. Mechanism of the cross-border payment. Simple cross-border payment using the account held at each bank, and cross-border payment using a comprehensive correspondent bank. International bank. ये पेमेंट, ये बैंक ए है, इन्होंने $100 सेंड किया. ये बैंक बी है, इन्होंने 10,000 और क्या लिखा, JP जापान में, अच्छा, येन 10,000 येन रिसीव किया. पेमेंट मैसेज. इंटरनेशनल बैंक होल्ड अकाउंट विद ईच अदर और इनेबलिंग बैंक टू मेक पेमेंट इन फॉरेन करेंसी. ये बैंक ए है, ये बैंक बी है, जापान है. यूएस ने $100 सेंड किया, इन्होंने 10,000 चलो रिसीव किए करस्पॉन्डेंट बैंक के हेल्प से. Banks not having direct relationship, they transact via an intermediary that is a correspondent bank. Significance of the cross-border financial inclusion. It can play a very pivotal role in bridging the gap as well as enabling the underserved communities to participate in the global economy. Pivotal role in bridging the gap, enabling the underserved communities to participate in the global economy. It can play a very pivotal role in bridging the gap, enabling the underserved communities to participate in the global economy. Access to the global market. It allows the business to expand in the international market and reach new customers, new suppliers, and the partners. Access to global market, financial inclusion, diversity. It allows business to diversify their customer base, supplier base, and investment portfolio. Cross-border payment are a fundamental element of a globalization process. Additional significance of cross-border payment for the Indian economy. It eases remittances. In 2016, India's cross-border remittances have been growing at a compound annual growth rate of 8%, facilitating travel and tourism. In 2018, the travel and tourism industry in India contributed around 170 travel and tourism industry in India contributed around $178 billion to the country's GDP. Ease remittances. In 2016, India's cross-border remittances have been growing at a compound annual growth rate of 8%, facilitating travel and tourism. In 2021, the travel and tourism industry in India contributed around $128 billion to the country's GDP. Accelerating foreign investment, India received a total FDI inflow of US 70.97 billion. India received a total FDI inflow of US 70.97 billion. Accelerating foreign investment, India received a total FDI inflow of US 70.97 billion in फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2023. कितना FDI इनफ्लो के हुआ है? फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट 70.97 बिलियन. कंस्ट्रेटिंग क्रॉस बॉर्डर पेमेंट, differing government regulation, different government के different regulation है in originating and the receiving country, lack of standardization of the financial data का standardization नहीं है. Legacy ये technology platform that rely on the batch processing, lack real time monitoring and have low data processing capacity. सिक्योरिटी रिस्क, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग होता है, टेरर फाइनेंसिंग होता है, साइबर फ्रॉड हो जाता है. हाई कॉस्ट एंड डिलेज इन सेटलमेंट ड्यू टू द वेरियस चेक्स एंड द कंट्रोल्स. हाई कॉस्ट डिले, बहुत सारे चेक्स होते हैं, कंट्रोल्स, मल्टीपल लेयर्स, लिमिटेड ऑपरेटिंग आवर्स, लॉन्ग ट्रांजैक्शन चेंज अक्रॉस द डिफरेंट टाइम जोन. स्टेप्स टेकन इन इंडिया फॉर स्ट्रेंथनिंग क्रॉस बॉर्डर पेमेंट. आरबीआई पेमेंट विजन 2025, वन ऑफ इट्स फोकस एरियाज टू ब्रिंग ईज इन क्रॉस बॉर्डर पेमेंट बाय यूजिंग द बायलैटरल अरेंजमेंट एंड द मल्टीलैटरल अरेंजमेंट. आरबीआई पेमेंट विजन 2025 bring ease in cross-border payment. NIPL, NPCI International Payment Limited. NPCI International Payment Limited has undertaken various initiatives across nation to enable the cross-border acceptance of the BHIM UPI QR. National Payment Corporation of India, International Payment Limited, NPCI International Payment Limited has undertaken various initiatives across the nation to enable the cross-border acceptance of the BHIM UPI QR at the merchant establishment. Currently, BHIM UPI QR has gained acceptance in Singapore, UAE, Mauritius, Nepal, Bhutan. तो अपने यहाँ नेपाल, भूटान, मॉरिशस, यूएई, सिंगापुर. RBI has allowed the access to unified payment UPI to foreign nationals and the NRIs visiting India by enabling them to make payments using UPI while they are in India. India-UAE MOU on use of central bank digital for cross-border payment bill. RBI and Central Bank of United Arab Emirates, they have signed an MOU to conduct the pilots to test the central bank digital currency transaction for cross-border payment. Way forward, improving existing payment infrastructure and arrangement through the methods like improving existing payment infrastructure and arrangement through methods like we have to align all the process and operating hours across system. Then we have to interlink existing payment system. Adopt a harmonized ISO 2002 version, and it is an open global standard for financial information for message format. So message information, financial information को मैनेज करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो हमें we have to adopt a harmonized 222 version. Then we have to collaborate with the communities that is specialized in cross-border payment to leverage their expertise and innovative solution. We have to explore the potential role of the new payment infrastructure and arrangement like new payment infrastructure and arrangement like central bank digital currency. We have to ensure compliance with the international regulation and the local regulation, including the anti-money laundering, know your customer, international regulation, local anti-money laundering, and know your customer requirement. Rigorous and effective risk assessment to reduce the burden associated with the compliance check and facilitate market entry. Rigorous assessment, effective risk assessment. Rigorous assessment and effective risk assessment reduce the burden. Rigorous assessment and effective risk assessment to reduce the burden associated with the compliance check and facilitate market entry. Rigorous and effective risk assessment to reduce the burden associated with compliance check and facilitate market entry. Rigorous and effective risk assessment to reduce the burden associated with compliance check and facilitate market. Rigorous assessment, effective risk assessment to reduce the burden associated with compliance check and facilitate market entry. Corporate convergence. The revised G20 Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Principles of Corporate Governance was endorsed at the G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi, India. Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, headquartered Paris, France, earlier was the Organization for European Economic Cooperation, which transformed OECD in 1961 to shape the policies to foster prosperity equal. मोनी पानी चू रहा है देखो जाके. To shape policies that foster prosperity, equality, opportunity and well-being for all. For foster prosperity, equality, opportunity and well-being for all. To say policies that foster prosperity, equality and opportunity, prosperity हो, equality हो, opportunity and well-being for all. इसमें 38 member countries हैं. India is not a member but is a key partner. कितनी कंट्रीज है? 38. इंडिया इज मेंबर नहीं है बट अ की पार्टनर. Foster prosperity, equality, opportunity and well-being. G20 OECD principle of the corporate governance are the leading international standard for corporate governance. The principle underwent a very comprehensive review in 2021 से 2023 to update them in light of the recent evolutions in corporate governance in the capital market. The principle underwent a comprehensive review. कब? In 2021-2023 to update them in light of the recent evolution in the corporate governance and capital market. The revised corporate governance capital market, the revised principles for area adopted by the OECD Council at the ministerial level in June 2023. What is corporate governance? It is the system of rules, some practices and processes by which a company is directed and controlled. कंपनी को आपको अगर डायरेक्ट करना है तो कंट्रोल करना है तो कुछ रूल्स प्रैक्टिस और प्रोसेस को फॉलो करने के. इट एसेंशियली इन्वॉल्व बैलेंसिंग द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द कंपनी मेनी स्टेक होल्डर्स सच एज शेयर होल्डर्स, management, customer, supplier, financial, government. We have to balance the interest of all the stakeholders. Okay. Core principle of a corporate governance: accountability, transparency, independence, integrity, risk management, shareholders. Right. Need for a strong corporate governance framework. Improve financial performance by implementing. अगर strong governance mechanism हमने कर दिया, strong corporate governance mechanism, तो it improve the financial performance. To improve their overall operational efficiency. उनकी फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस बढ़ जाएगी. एफिशिएंसी, इट विल मिनिमाइज द रिस्क, मेक बेटर इन्फॉर्म डिसीजन. इट बिल्ड ट्रस्ट एंड कॉन्फिडेंस अमंग द इंडिविजुअल एंड द इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर, लीडिंग टू अ मोर कैपिटल फॉर कंपनीज. बिल्ड ट्रस्ट, confidence among the individual and institutional investor. Build trust and confidence among the individual and the institutional investor, leading to more capital for companies. It improves access to financing from capital market, promote innovation, productivity, entrepreneurship. Improves access to financing from capital market. Improve access to financing. Okay. Improve financial performance, build trust, confidence among the individual and institutional investor, leading to a more capital for companies. Improve access to financing from capital market, promote innovation, productivity, entrepreneurship. Improves financial performance, overall operational efficiency, minimize risks, better informed decision, build trust, confidence among the individual and worker, leading to a more capital for companies. Improve access to financing from capital market, promote innovation, productivity, entrepreneurship. Corporate governance failures can have wider economic impact, particularly if they involve large companies or financial institutes. Generate positive societal impact by aligning companies' business with societal need. Societal impact. Foster positive corporate culture through improved connectivity, productivity, and better teamwork. It fosters positive corporate culture. Fosters a positive corporate culture through improved productivity and better teamwork. Positive corporate culture through improved connectivity, productivity and better teamwork. Improved productivity, better teamwork. Foster positive corporate culture through improved productivity and better teamwork. Positive corporate culture, improve productivity, better teamwork. Generate positive societal impact. Foster positive corporate culture through improved productivity and better teamwork. Productive कैसा होना चाहिए? Positive corporate culture through improved productivity and better teamwork. Challenge for the corporate governance in India: lack of separation of the ownership and the management due to many companies being family owned, lack of independent directors into issues like conflict of interest and lack of independent directors नहीं होते, जिसकी वजह से conflict of interest, lack of impartial evaluation, influence free decision making नहीं हो पाता है. ठीक है, जो भी डिसीजन मेकिंग हो इन्फ्लुएंस फ्री नहीं हो जाता, इम्पार्शियल इवोल्यूशन नहीं होता, इशूज लाइक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. Low education awareness for the investor about the corporate governance principle and their importance. Corporate governance की education कम है, awareness for the investor, limited scope of the governance policy while some being applicable to only listed companies. SEBI highlighted only the top 1000 listed companies to publish the annual business responsibility and sustainability, which aim to link the financial result with an environmental framework, societal framework and the governance framework. Lack of transparency in the operators of the companies and the incomplete disclosures leading to the difficulty in monitoring the effectiveness of the corporate governance practice. Fraudulent practice in the financial inequalities, infrastructure leasing and financial services scam of 2018 fraudulent practice and financial irregularities, infrastructure leasing and the financial services scam, poor risk protection and mitigation, and mitigation capabilities of companies, and limited focus on sustainability parameter, limited participation of the minority shareholders and other stakeholders in the decision making process. Framework of the Corporate Governance in India. Companies Act 2013, the Act dictates the provision in terms of board meeting, audit committee, disclosure requirement in financial statement, the constitution of the board and the related party in transaction. SEBI, it is a regulatory authority responsible for monitoring as well as regulating the corporate governance of listed companies. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, it is responsible for issuing guidelines. A regulatory authority के guidelines or standards, thereby directing the pathway of disclosing the financial data. Institute of Company Secretaries of India, it is responsible for issuing the secretarial standard primarily in terms of the board of director meeting and a general meeting. Ministry of Corporate Affairs, for regulating the function of the corporate sector in accordance with the law. Way forward, implementing the revised G20 OECD principle of the corporate governance. Basis for effective corporate governance framework. Promote transparent market, fair market and efficient allocation of the resource. Legal requirement, regulatory requirement consistent with the rule of law that is transparent and enforceable. Protect and facilitate the exercise of the shareholders' right. Ensures the equitable treatment of all shareholders including the minority. Protect as well as facilitate the exercise of shareholders' right, and then ensure equitable treatment of all the shareholders including the minority and foreign. Effective redress for the violation of the shareholder right at a reasonable cost and without excessive delay. Sound incentives throughout the investment chain. Disclose and minimize the conflict of interest of the entities, professionals that provide the analysis and advice. Disclose and minimize the conflict of interest. Disclose कोई है या minimize करो or conflict of interest of entities, professionals that provide analysis and advice for investors, such as analysts, brokers, CSC, rating and data provider, credit rating. Fair and efficient price discovery in stock market. Timely disclosure and accurate disclosure of all material matters regarding the corporation, including the financial situation, कैसी है, performance, sustainability, ownership, governance. Disclosure in accordance with internationally recognized accounting and disclosure standard. Annual external audit by an independent, competent and qualified auditor. Strategic guidance of the company includes the proper risk management, maintaining proper risk management, high ethical standard, effective monitoring of management through identifying the potential conflict of interest, conducting independent external audit, overseeing the process of disclosure and communication, accountability to the company and the shareholder. Sustainability and resilience. Incentive for companies and their investors to make decisions for the sustainability and resilience of the corporation. Sustainability and resilience of the corporation. Sustainability related disclosure framework consistent with high quality, understandable, enforceable, internationally recognized standard. Enable free dialogue between a company, its shareholders and stakeholders to exchange views on sustainable matters, illegal or unethical practice. Ensure free dialogue between a company, its shareholders and stakeholders to exchange views on sustainability matters. Enable free dialogue between a company, उनके shareholders, stakeholders to exchange views on sustainability matters, illegal or unethical. Ensure free dialogue between a company. Okay. Incentivize for companies and the investor to make decisions for the sustainability and the resilience of the corporation. Sustainable resilience. Sustainability disclosure framework including with high quality, understandable, enforceable and internationally recognized. जो standards होने चाहिए कैसे होने चाहिए? High quality, understandable, enforceable, internationally recognized, and it needs to enable free dialogue between a company, its shareholders and stakeholders to exchange views on the sustainability matters, illegal practice or unethical practice. Regulation of the crypto asset. G20 countries adopted the G20 countries adopted the New Delhi's leader. G20 countries adopted the New Delhi leaders' declaration which called for the effective regulation of the crypto asset. What is the need for the regulation of the crypto asset? Protect the consumer from the fraud and other financial crime. जो भी consumers होते हैं उनको fraud and other financial crime. Largely unregulated asset class to foster the greater stability and the reliability. Largely unregulated asset class. Largely unregulated. Protect consumer from fraud and other financial crime. You need to protect the consumers from fraud and other financial crime. Largely unregulated asset class to foster greater stability and reliability in the crypto market, ensuring consistency in the broader financial policies and the economic policies. What is the need for the regulation of the crypto asset? Okay, protect consumer from fraud. Largely unregulated asset class to foster the greater stability, reliability in the crypto market, ensuring consistency in the broader financial and economic by addressing issues like tax avoidance, money laundering, and the terrorist financing. G20 countries adopt the New Delhi Leaders Declaration, which call for the effective regulation of crypto regulation in India, legal provision at present, the exchange, the transfer, safekeeping, or administration of the cryptocurrency is under the ambit of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. This would require all entities dealing with the crypto asset to implement the mandatory KYC process, report suspicious activities, and require the financial entities, crypto companies to maintain client financial entities or crypto and companies to maintain the client relationship for 5 years. 5 years. RBI stands. RBI has on several occasions voiced its concern about the crypto asset, saying that these assets they threaten the financial stability. 2013 RBI issued a statement which cautioned the users, holders and traders of the virtual currency जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं या होल्ड कर रहे हैं या ट्रेड कर रहे हैं इंक्लूडिंग द क्रिप्टो करेंसीज अबाउट द पोटेंशियल रिस्क एसोसिएटेड विद द यूज फाइनेंशियल इंस्टेबिलिटी. ओके, कंसर्न्स रिगार्डिंग द फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी. 2017 में आरबीआई कॉशन द यूजर्स होल्डिंग द वर्चुअल करेंसी इंक्लूडिंग द बिटकॉइंस. पहले क्रिप्टो करेंसीज, फिर बिटकॉइन, वर्चुअल करेंसी, फिर बिटकॉइन, including Bitcoin regarding the various reassuring dealing with such virtual currency. RBI issued a circular, पहले caution किया, फिर circular prohibiting the banks and other regulated entities from providing services to individual or business dealing cryptocurrency. The circular effectively made it illegal for the Indian resident to buy or sell cryptocurrency. 2020, the ban was overturned by the Supreme Court, stating that it was disproportionate and that it violated the fundamental right of the citizen. डिसप्रपोर्शनेट है और ये फंडामेंटल राइट्स को वायलेट करता है. डिसीजन इफेक्टली लीगलाइज द यूज ऑफ द क्रिप्टो करेंसी इन इंडिया एंड ओपन द डोर फॉर द वाइडर ऑप्शन रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क. इन 2022 द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ द फाइनेंस रिलीज अ रिपोर्ट proposing the creation of a digital rupee as state bank cryptocurrency as well as a framework for regulating the private cryptocurrency. In 2022, the Ministry of Finance released a report which proposed the creation of a digital rupee, which is a state bank cryptocurrency as well as the framework for regulating the private cryptocurrency. 2022 में the Ministry of Finance released a report proposing the creation of a digital rupee. Ministry of Finance report creating the creation of a digital rupee, which is a state-backed cryptocurrency as well as the framework for regulating the private cryptocurrency. The report also removed the establishment of digital currency regulatory authority to oversee the use of the cryptocurrency in India. Tax regime. In 2022, the union budget for the first time officially classified digital asset. Classified budget में for the first time officially classified digital asset, including the cryptocurrency as virtual digital asset. In the proposed tax regime, the government has announced the flat 30% income tax on the transfer of crypto asset. 30% income tax. Announced a flat 30% income IT on the transfer of the crypto asset. The central announced another 1% tax deducted at source. 30% income tax, 1% tax deducted at source. Now, what is the challenges in regulating the cryptocurrency blanket ban? The blanket bans making the crypto asset activities illegal. अगर blanket ban कर देंगे तो it will make the crypto asset activities illegal, which can be very costly and technically demanding to enforce. ठीक है, costly and technically demanding to enforce. तो circumvention can be achieved by many technology solutions due to the inherent borderless nature of the crypto asset. This will result in the heightened financial integrity risk and create inefficiencies. Regulatory consistency. Achieving consistency in crypto regulation across different countries, it remains a complex task. Lack of harmonized taxonomies. Different jurisdiction defines and categorize crypto assets in various buckets, and creating ambiguity in understanding the risk posed as well as the lack of clarity for market participants. Fragmented monitoring, supervision, enforcement due to the lack of the coordination among the various law enforcement agencies. Challenges क्या है? अगर ये blanket bans making crypto asset activities illegal can be very costly and technically demanding to enforce. Regulatory considering achieving consistency in crypto regulation for different countries is a complex task. Lack of harmonized taxonomy, different jurisdictions define and categorize crypto asset in various buckets, creating ambiguity in understanding the risk posed as well as the lack of the clarity for market participants. Fragmented monitoring, supervision, enforcement with the lack of coordination with the various law enforcement agencies. Balancing innovation and striking the right balance between the fostering innovation, mitigating risk. Fostering innovation, mitigating risk remains a delicate task. Striking the right balance between fostering innovation and mitigating risk remains a delicate task. Cross-border enforcement. enforcing regulation in a global decentralized ecosystem and different national priorities. Enforcing regulation in a global decentralized ecosystem and different cross-border enforcement, balancing innovation and risk, striking the right balance between fostering innovation and mitigating risk, fostering innovation, cross-border enforcement, enforcing regulation in a global ecosystem, decentralized ecosystem, different national priorities across a significant challenge. How India is shaping a global regulation for the crypto asset. IMF FSP synthesis paper on crypto asset was spearheaded by India. The paper highlighted the potential systematic implication of crypto, very potential and systematic implication of crypto asset, cross-border challenges, various regulatory approaches that can be adopted, advocacy for inclusive regulation. India advocated for the regulatory approaches that promoted financial inclusion, especially for the underserved population. India advocated for regulatory approaches that promoted financial inclusion, especially underserved population. Risk mitigation. India's leadership raised issues like money laundering and terrorist financing through crypto assets and called for the inclusion of such concerns in the crypto regulation. IMF FSB synthesis paper. In the recently concluded G20 summit, the countries endorsed the report by the IMF and the Financial Stability Board on risk and the framework for regulating crypto assets. And they include not banning the asset and creating reporting and licensing mechanism for the regulation of digital asset by 2025. Markets in crypto asset regulation. This was markets in crypto asset regulation. This was framed by the European Union. It is the first cross-jurisdictional regulatory and the supervisory framework for the crypto asset. Emerging studies and advancing economies. Both of these lag emerging market, advancing economy. Both of these lag on regulatory development. Only 25% of the economies studied have regulation in place on taxation, AML, CFT, consumer protectionism, and licensing. Global regulatory approaches description. Principle-based regulation. Instead of prescribing detailed rules, this regulatory approach outlines the result and performance expected. It works on the idea of intervention based on the associated level of risk. Principle-based regulation. Instead of prescribing detailed rules, this regulatory approach outlines the result and performance expected. Instead of prescribing detailed rule, principle-based regulation. Instead of detailed rule, this regulatory approach outlines the result and performance expected. Principle-based regulation, risk-based regulation. It works on the idea of intervention based on the associated level of risk. Agile regulation. Agile regulation is a very responsive, iterative approach, acknowledging that policy is no longer limited to government, but it is a multi-stakeholder effort. कि जो कोई भी पॉलिसी होती है ये सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट का ही नहीं होता है, बट इट इज़ अ मल्टी स्टेक होल्डर अप्रोच, रिस्पॉन्सिव अप्रोच, इटरेटिव अप्रोच. In self-regulation, industry representatives coordinate and they collaborate to formulate a voluntary standard or code of conduct. In co-regulation, self-regulation, an NGO is formed by the participants of a particular industry or sector to assist in the regulation of the enterprises in that area with the oversight of the regulator. Regulation by the enforcement indicates that enforcement action are being used to define the regulatory framework and making rules. Way forward for the crypto regulation. Implication and the policy linkage. Identifying the implication of the crypto asset and framing an adequate policy response can be a way forward. Implication and the policy response of the crypto asset. Implication of the crypto asset: macroeconomic stability, financial stability, regulatory issue. Macroeconomic stability रहेगी, फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी रहेगी, फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी, रेगुलेटरी इश्यूज, legal integrity, financial integrity, marketing and monetary risk. It safeguards the monetary sovereignty and the stability, guard against the excessive capital flow volatility, addresses the fiscal risk, and adopt unambiguous tax treatment. Unambiguous tax treatment, monitor the impact of crypto asset on IMS, adopt FSB, high-level recommendation for the crypto assets and GSA relevant SSB standard, consider targeted measures appropriate, confirm the legal treatment and provide clear guidance, Implement and enforce FATF standard, address the market integrity issue. No outright ban. Blanket ban makes crypto-related activities like trading illegal and hence taught to monitor, license and supervision licensing of the crypto asset at service providers and supervising them in the same way the financial institution. If once licensed and regulated, then service providers should implement measures like custom due diligence, record keeping and reporting of suspicious activities, clarity in taxation in addition to a clear tax policy that takes into clear tax policy होनी चाहिए and that takes into consideration cross-border transaction. It should also leverage third-party information, especially from intermediaries such as crypto asset trading platform, broker-dealer to enhance the tax compliance. The G20 nations have endorsed the forming a framework like the Crypto Asset Reporting Framework (CARF), Crypto Asset Reporting Framework for cross-border data sharing for effective tax compliance. Robust data forming authorities should have access to the data as necessary and very appropriate to fulfill their regulatory, supervisory, and oversight mandate. Digital inclusion in emerging technology. Recently, the Telecom Regulatory Authority has released a consultation paper on digital inclusion in the era of emerging technology. Digital inclusion in the era of emerging technology. It aims to explore and address the challenges and opportunities presented by the rapid advancement of the emerging technology, with a focus on ensuring inclusivity for all segments of society and industry, particularly MSME. It aims to explore and address the challenges and opportunities presented by the rapid advancement of emerging technology. It aims to explore and address the challenges as well as the opportunities presented by the rapid advancement of the emerging technology, with a focus on ensuring the inclusivity for all segments of society and industries, particularly MSME. Emerging technology is a term generally used to describe the new, advanced and futuristic technology at a given point in time, and may also refer to the continuing development of an existing technology. This includes the 6C, artificial intelligence, distributed data technology, and Internet of Things. Importance of digital inclusion in emerging technology. Extent job market. Digital technology provides job opportunity for individuals, especially in the field like data science, data engineering, etc. As per the future of the job report 2023 by the World Economic Forum, data analysts and the scientists are expected data analysts and scientists are expected a 30 to 35% increase in demand. Data analysts and scientists 30 to 35% increase in demand. Enhanced learning. Digital inclusion and online learning can bring down the cost of education, reduce the digital divide. Technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality have enabled students to visualize the event and experiment, thus making the learning process very active, effective, and meaningful. Inclusive workspace. And digital inclusion improves the workplace participation. Improves workplace participation and workplace participation. Inclusive workspace. Workspace participation bridges the gap between the employment opportunities for men, women, and disabled employee. This empowers the disabled and the female workers to transcend the limitation tied to a part-time or the low-skill position. Better pay and wages. Enhance IT skills and the digital inclusion. They boost individual learning potential in the workforce and significantly contribute to business innovation, overall workplace productivity in tech-savvy profession. प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ जाएगी, इनोवेशन बढ़ जाता है. डिजिटल इंक्लूजन इम्प्रूव द एक्सेसिबिलिटी, अफोर्डेबिलिटी एंड द क्वालिटी ऑफ द हेल्थ केयर. इट कैन फैसिलिटेट क्लिनिकल सपोर्ट, map and monitor the spread. It can map the spread of the infectious disease as well as monitor the spread as well as track the supply of the drugs and the vaccine. Digital inclusion. Digital accessibility. Assistive design, affordable and connectivity availability. Information, IT and media literacy. Allow IT media literacy, enhances the trust, perceive usability, usefulness, awareness. Digital accessibility, acceptance, literacy. For example, teleconsultation through the eSanjeevani platform touched 1 million during the pandemic, highlighting the importance of digital inclusion in medicine. MSME. Emerging technology that could be useful through the development of use cases for MSME include e-commerce. Emerging technology that is useful through the development of the MSME include e-commerce, Internet of Things, and process automation. Digital inclusion for the MSME. Benefits of digitalization for MSME: it reduces the manual effort, errors, and improve the overall efficiency of the MSME operation. Increase the reach of the MSME through online platform like commerce website. It to expand the customer base and increase the sale. Is access to finance through the digital lending platform like the online marketplaces and peer-to-peer lending platform. Efficient storing as well managing data on the customers. storing data as well as managing data. Challenges faced by the MSME: poor affordability of internet, building trust with the online consumers and managing logistic, lack of knowledge and expertise to leverage the digital technology, etc. Poor affordability of internet, building trust with online customers, managing logistic. Challenges faced by the MSME: poor affordability of internet, building trust with online consumers, managing logistic. Challenges क्या है: poor affordability of internet, building trust with online customers, managing logistic, lack of knowledge, expertise to leverage the digital technology, etc. Initiative taken for India for undertaken for MSME. Udyam registration portal to register MSME business and access various government schemes for financial support and resources. MSME Summer, digital platform connecting job seekers with recruiters in the MSME sector. Champion creation and harmonious application of modern process. Creation and harmonious application. Create करो फिर harmonious application of the modern process for increasing output and national strength. To promote the use of modern technology, MSME provide them with the necessary support to enhance their productivity and competitiveness. MSME Global Mart Platform, business to business web portal which helps MSME in market access through online presence by showcasing their product and the service. Global Mart open network for the ONDC. ONDC aim to create new opportunities to curb digital monopolies and support MSME in their digitization by enabling them to use digital commerce for their business operation. Now challenges can using emerging technology access, the rapid pace of the technological advancement and the high cost of rapid pace of technological development. Advanced technology तो बहुत तेजी से एडवांस हो रही है, but it has a very high cost of adopting and utilizing the emerging technology can widen the digital divide, particularly for marginalized community and underserved region. 49% of the Indian adult men own smartphone, but only 26% women did, revealing a gender disparity. 49-26. Lack of access and investment to 5G network and the AI technology could hinder the equitable development of emerging technology, thus worsening the existing disparities in the digital inclusion. Lack of coverage in the process of connecting the radio towers with each other via optical fiber cable of mobile tower hampers the quality of the internet access affordability. In India, in 2022, the cost of the cheapest internet-enabled smartphone was 35%. The cost of the cheapest internet-enabled smartphone was 35.9% of the average monthly income. Limited digital literacy is a key barrier to digital inclusion. Both the developed and the developing market have digital spaces can be misused, and they can act as a tool for online gender-based violence, stalking and bullying, spread of misinformation, phishing and hate speech. Stalking, bullying, misinformation, hate speech. This creates barrier in connecting, engaging and adopting the emerging technology. Now initiative taken with respect to digital inclusion emerging technology. For digital connectivity, universal suffrage obligation fund established under the Indian Telegraph Act to provide support for the affordable access to reliable and the ubiquitous telecom network to remote and the rural areas. Indian Telegraph Act of 1885 to provide support for affordable access to what? Reliable and ubiquitous telecom network. Okay, Bharat Project, formerly known as the National Optical BharatNet, National Optical Fiber Network, aimed to create or connect all Gram Panchayat and the villages in the country by high-speed broadband connectivity using optical fiber cable. High-speed broadband connectivity using optical fiber cable. National Broadband Mission 2019, it aimed to achieve the availability of the broadband connection and create a digital fiber map of digital communication network and infrastructure. It aims to achieve availability of the broadband connection and create digital fiber map of digital communication network and infrastructure. National Broadband Mission 2019, it aimed to achieve the availability of the broadband connection and enable digital fiber map. Okay, National Broadband Mission 2019 aimed to achieve the availability of broadband connection, create digital fiber map of digital communication network infrastructure, including optical fiber cable and towers throughout the country. Digital India program, its vision is to center around the three key vision areas, that is digital infrastructure, high speed internet होना चाहिए, secure cyber, digital Infrastructure. High-speed internet, secure cyberspace is a core utility to every citizen. Governance. Governance and services on demand. Governance and services on demand. High Digital India program. Digital infrastructure, then governance, services on demand, digital empowerment of citizens like digital literacy. For digital affordability, national policy on electronic 2019. It promotes domestic manufacturing and export of electric devices including smartphone, laptop, tablet and producing 1 billion mobile handset by 2025. 1 billion mobile handset by 2025. Design linked incentive scheme. It offers financial incentive as well as design infrastructure support across various stages of development and deployment of semiconductor design for IC chipset over a period of 5 years. Design linked incentive, national policy on 2019. For digital literacy, प्रधानमंत्री ग्रामीण डिजिटल साक्षरता अभियान. It aims to digitalize illiterate 60 million people. It aims to साक्षरता अभियान digitally literate 60 million people 14 से 60 साल की एज में from rural areas by training them to operate computer or digital access device like tablet, smartphone, etc., send and receive email, etc. Digital skilling program. It focuses on reskilling, upskilling student via internship, apprenticeship and employment to 1 crore student in internship, apprenticeship and employment to 1 crore student in emerging technology. Skilling, reskilling, upskilling by internship, apprenticeship and employment to 1 crore student in emerging technology. Policy way forward. Policy intervention. To ensure the comprehensive digital inclusion, it is imperative to implement the targeted policies address the gap arising due to emerging technology, focus on the digital literacy program and affordable access to all the sections of the society. Investment. Public funding, private funding for high-speed internet infrastructure development is crucial for ensuring the digital inclusion in unserved and underserved areas. World Bank has estimated that a 10% increase in fixed broadband penetration would increase GDP growth by 1.2%, 1.3%, 1.2% in developed and 1.3% developing countries respectively. It is needed to reduce the mobile sector specific tax like import duty and fees, discouraging internet uses. Mobile sector specific taxes like import duty and fees, discouraging the internet uses and adoption of mobile devices. Tax rebate दीजिए. Public in policy intervention, तो targeted policy, address the gap, focus on digital literacy and affordability program. इन्वेस्टमेंट होनी चाहिए. टैक्स रिबेट दीजिए. स्टेक होल्डर कोलैबोरेशन. गवर्नमेंट, टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री, मल्टीनेशनल कॉर्पोरेशन, NGOs and must collaborate to address the bureaucratic hurdles, develop strategies to facilitate digital inclusion as well as adoption of digital technology by business. International practice for digital inclusion. Smart Nation Singapore program. Vision is a digital first Singapore where digital government, digital economy, digital society will act as a 3 pillar of a smart Singapore. What are the 3 pillars of the smart Singapore? Smart Nation Singapore program. Vision is a digital first Singapore where digital governance, digital economy, digital society, government, economy, society, will act as a 3 pillar of this smart Singapore and harness technology to effect transformation in health, transport, urban living, government services and business. Affordable connectivity program. It ensures that a household can afford the broadband they need for work, for school, healthcare and for afford the broadband. Affordable connectivity program USA. Smart Nation Singapore program. Related news. Generative AI and job. ILO released a paper titled Generative AI and the Job, Global Analysis of Potential Effect on the Job Quality as well as the Quantity. GI is a branch of the generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that uses deep learning models like OpenAI का ChatGPT and Google का BART to create a high quality content like text and speech. It leverages advanced natural language processing to understand the complex language. Natural language processing to understand complex language structure. Generative AI is more likely to augment job as opposed to fully automating occupation. Fully automating occupation से ये it will augment job. Share of job potentially exposed to automation with AI grows with the income of the country. Poorly managed tech transition has gendered effects and can disproportionately harm women. negotiation, gendered effect, negotiation between the employer and the worker to encourage redeployment training over job loss, instituting social protection and skill development program, instituting social protection and skill development program, enhance job quality, training and income support mitigates automation gender effect, enhance enhancing the job quality, training, income support, negotiation, increase social protection, skill development, job quality, training, income support mitigates automation gender effect, bring AI regulation laws, involve tripartite system of workers, employers and government, managing food inflation in India. Indian Council of Research on International Economic Relations has estimated that banning cereal export has cost farmers at least 45,000 crore in 2023. Food inflation in India, retail inflation and was at 6.3%, with food inflation retail 6.83%, retail 9.2%. It is measured by the year-on-year consumer price index. The recent inflation is largely because of the impact of rising food prices, as food and beverages carry 45.9% weight in the CPI basket. Food and beverages carry 45.9% weight in the CPI basket. The recent inflation is largely because of the impact of rising food prices. The recent inflation is largely because of the impact of the rising food price. इन्फ्लेशन क्यों बढ़ रहा है? 9.2% है ना, मेजर्ड बाय द ईयर ऑन ईयर CPI कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स. क्यों बढ़ रहा है? राइजिंग फूड प्राइसेस की वजह से. एज फूड एंड बेवरेजेस कैरी 45.9% weight on the CPI. फूड एंड बेवरेजेस से 45.9% in the CPI. Major contribution to the current food inflation include the tomato, onion, tomatoes बहुत महंगे, onion, cereals like wheat and rice, spices, milk and dairy product. Wheat inflation is partly due to domestic factors like the heat waves हो गई हैं, unseasonal rains and partly a result of the international price transmission due to issues like the Russia-Ukraine war. All India Consumer Price Index CPI miscellaneous 28. Okay, food and beverages 45.9. उसके बाद है miscellaneous 28.8, housing 10, fuel and light 6, clothing 6.8, clothing and footwear 6.5, pan, tobacco and electronics 2.4. Factor which affect India's food inflation in the long term. Monsoon variability, which is the further aggravated by climate change. Global commodity price include food prices as well as crude oil prices. Government policy including the MSP minimum support price policy. Infrastructure variability such as storage and distribution system. Exchange rate fluctuation affecting the agriculture trade and thus agriculture prices. Outbreak of the pest and the disease can affect the crop yield and the policies. 6 point. Now, what are the government measures to manage the food inflation? Export restriction. These include the export ban, export duty, imposition of the minimum support price. Some recent measures include imposition of the export ban. Export restriction. These include export ban, export duty. Government measures to manage food inflation. Food inflation को तो बैन कर दिया. Export ban, export duty, imposition of minimum export price. Some recent measures: imposition of the export ban on the wheat, broken rice and non-basmati rice. Export duty of 20% on parboiled rice and 40% export duty levied on onion. 40% export duty on onion, 20% on parboiled rice. Stock limit. Imposition of stocking limits on the wheat traders and the millers. Buffer stock. The government maintains the buffer stock and offload from the government maintains buffer stock and offloads from it under the open market sale scheme. Open market sale scheme. Food security scheme. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana was launched to provide free food grains to more than 80 crore beneficiaries. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, free food grains to more than 80 crore beneficiaries. Direct support to farmers. Support is provided through subsidy. Support कैसे देते हैं? Direct support to farmers subsidy देते हैं. Income support, procurement at the minimum support price. Supply side measures, improving the agriculture productivity. Marketing, strategic reserves, promoting diversification and value addition. Supply side measures क्या होते हैं? We have to improve agriculture productivity, then marketing, strategic research, promotion, diversification, and value addition. Now, what are the concerns with the current food inflation management system, loss of farmers' income? Measures to contain the food inflation such as the export ban, OMSS, open market, एक मिनट, OMSS का full form नहीं याद आ रहा मुझे, open market sale scheme. Okay, and imposition of the stock limit resulting in the collective loss of the farmers' income. Policy wise, adoption of such market distorting policy measures indicate a bias in favor of consumer compared to farmers, that is, producers in India's food price policy. Indirect tax burden on farmer. A prior research by ICRIAR and OECD showed that between 2000 and 2016, Indian farmers carried a substantial indirect tax burden amounting to rupees 2.65 lakh crore annually. Dubbing the combination of an export ban and the government selling wheat in the open market at prices below the MSP guaranteed to farmers has been argued to be tantamount to dumping within India by the government itself. Dumping refers to a situation of where the price of a product in the importing country is less than the price of that product in the exporting country. Where the price of a product जो import कर रहा है is less than the price of the product in the exporting country. Global ramification. India is the largest rice exporter, accounting for around 40% of the global share. India's export ban on rice affects the global price. Such sudden policy shifts endanger global food security and as well as undermines India's reputation as a reliable exporter. How to best manage the food inflation without the adverse effect? Calibrated trade policy. Instead of protectionist trade policy can be calibrated to control the rising inflation with measures such as timely reduction in import duty. Import duty में reduce कर दो. Import duty में reduction मतलब export duty में बढ़ाना. Buffer stock. Government should build buffer stock for volatile vegetable staples like tomato, onion and potato during the harvest season. This will help the farmer realize the stable prices in the glut period. The stocks can be systematically released over the lean period or during the festive season when demand is high, or to cool down the prices. Release over the lean or festive season. Income support to farmer. Government can increase its amount of income transfer to farmer under the PM Kisan from 6,000 to 10,000 a year to offset the potential income loss. Processed food can provide a viable substitute for consumers during the price pressure on fresh produce. Research and development. Increase investment in from current 0.48% of agriculture GDP in order to augment the productivity. It can be directed to areas like innovative farming practices, drought resistant seed varieties, adapting to these changing conditions. Irrigation. Increasing irrigation coverage can be increased by expanding micro irrigation infrastructure, including soil moisture sensor. Irrigation coverage can be increased by expanding the micro irrigation infrastructure, including soil moisture. Okay, irrigation coverage can be increased by expanding the micro irrigation infrastructure, micro irrigation, soil moisture sensor and drip irrigation, soil moisture sensor, drip irrigation, micro irrigation. Digitization of agriculture. Delhi Irrigation has committed to promote responsible, sustainable and inclusive use of digital technology by farmers and an ecosystem of agriculture, tech startup and MSME. 40% of the contribution of the farm mechanization in India. 40% contribution of farm mechanization in India compared to the US 95%, Brazil 75%, China 57%. About digitization of agriculture, tech startup, MSME. Digital technology by the farmer, responsible, sustainable, inclusive. It is digitization of agriculture. It is integration of the cutting edge digital technology into the farm production system. It including AI, cutting edge digital technology in farm production like AI, robotics, unmanned aviation system, sensor, communication network is referred to as digitization of agriculture. Significance of digitization of agriculture across the agriculture supply chain. Input supply. It helps to optimize the input resource like fertilizer, pesticide, water, etc. at the right time across the agricultural value chain. Input supply. It helps to optimize the input resources like fertilizer. Input supply across the agricultural value chain. Digitization across the agricultural value chain. It helps to optimize the input resources like optimized fertilizer, pesticide, water at the right time. Use of AI with agricultural data. Production. It increases the operational efficiency, decreases production cost of farming due to the reduced manpower recruitment and the labor hours for submission on agriculture mechanization. Trading. Right price for the produce is obtained by elimination of the middleman, thereby increasing the profitable. National agriculture market. Warehousing. 8. Scientific decision making in farming activities which will reduce the burden of crop loss or failure. साइंटिफिक डिसीजन मेकिंग इन फार्मिंग एक्टिविटीज़ जैसे कि बर्डन ऑफ क्रॉप लॉस हो गया, फेलर, लो यील्ड, पेस्ट अटैक एक्सेट्रा. इम्प्रूव करना. बेटर एग्रीकल्चर गवर्नेंस बाय यूजिंग एग्रीकल्चर डेटा गैदर अक्रॉस द कंट्री फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ द फार्मर्स एंड द सिटीजन. नेशनल ई गवर्नेंस प्लान. नेशनल ई गवर्नेंस प्लान इन एग्रीकल्चर. इंडियन डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर फ्रेमवर्क. नेशनल ई गवर्नेंस प्लान. नेशनल ई गवर्नेंस प्लान इन एग्रीकल्चर. इंडियन Digital Ecosystem of Agriculture Idea Framework. Indian Digital Ecosystem of Agriculture bridges the gender gap through promotion of women-centric innovation, enabling them to involve in agriculture activities at par with male. PM Kisan Mobile App bridges the gender gap, involve the women-centric innovation, involvement of women in agriculture at par with male. PM Kisan Mobile App. National E-Governance Plan in Infra Agriculture. Indian Digital Idea. Indian Digital Ecosystem of Agriculture. Indian Digital Ecosystem of Agriculture. ENAM. Okay. Production, trading, warehousing, improve governance. Digitization of agriculture across the value chain. Farmer, farm, harvest, collection center, then packaging, transportation, processing plant. फिर transport करेंगे. QA team है, quality and the retail outlet. Farm harvest unique ID code generated. Data capture include geolocation, farm and crop information, certification, contact detail, registration number, collection general, record produce detail, farmer name, variety, packaging and labeling, transportation. Challenges in digitization of agriculture and digital illiteracy make the farmer shy away from trying new generation technology in agriculture. In addition, the recent increase in the digital fraud cases using the mobile devices affected the trust in the digital mode. Lack of awareness about the schemes, the subsidies provided by the government to make use of digital technology. Scheme and subsidy. Capital requirement is high at the initial stage and make it difficult for a small farmers and the marginal farmers to acquire them. Capital requirement is high at the initial stage and makes it difficult for a small farmers and the marginal farmer to acquire them. Capital requirement is high at the initial stage and difficult for the small and marginal farmer to acquire them. Small and marginal fragmented land holding. It is a major concern for the digitization as it makes the scalability of the technology difficult. As per the latest agriculture trend, the average size of the operational holding has decreased from 2.28 hectares in 1970 to 1.08 hectare. 2.228 1.08 hectare in 2015-16. Fear of unemployment as the automation would reduce the number of manpower required for the process. Fear of unemployment and as the automation will reduce the number of manpower. Nascent stage of agri-tech startup as they find it difficult to get funding as well as reliable customer base. Presently, there are only 1% agri-tech startup penetration in the India. Lack of infrastructure in rural areas like access to electricity, internet नहीं है, बिजली नहीं है, इंटरनेट नहीं है, सर्विस सेंटर फॉर द मशीनरीज एक्सेट्रा. लिमिटेशन ऑफ द अवेलेबल प्रोडक्ट लाइक द लैक ऑफ कंटेंट इन रीजनल लैंग्वेज में कंटेंट नहीं है, यूजर फ्रेंडली इंटरफेस नहीं है, इनएडुकेट फार्म डेटा सेट एंड फार्म लेवल डेटा सेट, farmer level farm data set and farm data set. Application of technologies involving agriculture, farm mechanization like drone, robotics, climate smart agriculture, biotechnology, genetic modification, biofortification, digital technologies such as AI, remote sensing, big data, blockchain, IoT. Farm mechanization, climate smart agriculture, biotechnology, biomodification, biofortification, digital technology. Way forward: improving the access to innovative products to the farmer. Improving the access to innovative product to the farmers by educating them, providing finances to acquire the same. Focusing on producing technology at an affordable cost which enables the farmer to acquire them. Focusing on producing technologies at affordable cost. Okay, in improving the access to innovative product. Improving access to innovative product. Improving access to innovative product. Focusing on producing technology at access to innovative product. Focusing on producing technologies at affordable cost which enable the farmer to acquire them. portable hardware model need to be focused as a small plug-and-play hardware which can be commonly shared among the group of farmers. Improving the access to innovative product to the farmers by educating them, providing finances. Focusing on providing technologies at an affordable cost will enable the farmer to acquire them. Portable hardware models need to be focused as a small plug-and-play hardware which can be commonly shared among a group of farmers, bridging the gap between the field and the academic institution for them to better understand the ground-level issues faced by the farmers and work towards them. Attainment of better financing options and incubation centers for the agri-tech startup for them to stabilize and sustain. Latest initiative in digitalization of agriculture. Unified portal for agriculture strategy. It is an advanced agricultural data management platform designed to generate crop estimate, integrate with other systems generating agriculture study ऐसा कि अगर crop estimate होगा तो price क्या होगा, कितना trade करेंगे, procurement, stock, etc. The Kisan Rin portal. It offers a comprehensive view of a farmer data, loan disbursement, specific interest, subvention claim, fosters seamless integration with banks for more focused and efficient agricultural credit. Weather information network data, wind manual, weather information network data system manual. It leverages advanced weather data analytics to provide stakeholders with actionable insights on weather and empower the farmers, the policymakers, and the various agriculture entities to make a well-informed choices. Yes Tech is a technology-driven yield estimation system offering methodologies, best practices, integration insight for accurate yield assessment at the Gram Panchayat level. Yes Tech yield estimation system. Yes Tech yield estimation system. Kisan Rin portal, unified portal for agriculture statistics, wind portal, weather information network data system. Leverages advanced weather data analysis to provide stakeholders with actionable insight on weather, empower farmers and the policymakers by agriculture to make well-informed choices. Wind National E-Governance Plans in Agriculture. It is a centrally sponsored scheme of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers which aims to achieve the rapid development in India through the use of modern technology in agriculture. National Logistic Policy. India recently marked the 5-year anniversary of National Logistic Policy. National Logistics Sector in India. Logistic means transportation as well as handling of the good between the point of the production, consumption, storage, value addition, and allied services. The logistic infrastructure comprises the port, station, multimodal logistic park. मल्टीमोडल लॉजिस्टिक पोर्ट होता है, स्टेशन होता है, मल्टीमोडल लॉजिस्टिक पार्क, वेयर हाउसेज कनेक्टेड बाय द रोड, रेलवे, शिपिंग, इनलैंड वाटरवे, एयर रोड, पाइपलाइन एक्सेट्रा. 259.5 बिलियन वैल्यू ऑफ द इंडियन लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर इन 2022 में इंडियन लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर की वैल्यू कितनी है? $259.5. 38th रैंक इन द वर्ल्ड बैंक लॉजिस्टिक परफॉर्मेंस इंडेक्स 2023. 38. 30 to 40% of GDP is the cost of the India's logistics sector. About National Logistic Policy. National Logistic was introduced in the September 2000. National Logistic Policy. Okay. National Logistic Policy was introduced in September 2022 to promote the seamless flow of the goods across the country, improve Indian goods competitiveness in domestic as well as the global market. Seamless flow of good competitiveness बढ़ाना जिससे कि economic growth बढ़े through an integrated, seamless, efficient, reliable, green, sustainable and cost-effective logistic network by leveraging best-in-class technology, the processes and the skilled manpower. Technology, process and skilled manpower. Target of the National Logistic Policy reduces the cost of the logistics in India to global benchmark by 2030. Reduce the cost of logistics in India to global benchmark by 2030. Improve the logistic performance index ranking and be among the top 25 countries by 2030. Index ranking and top 25 with 38. Create data-driven decision support mechanism for logistic implementation of the National Logistic Policy through a comprehensive logistic action plan which consists of intervention divided into specific action areas, including 8 action areas of the comprehensive logistic action plan. Integrated digital logistics system, export-import logistics, standardization of the physical asset and benchmarking of the service quality standard, service improvement framework, sectoral plan for efficient logistics, facilitation of development of logistic park, logistic human resource development, capacity building, state engagement. Progress in the national logistics so far. Digitalization, use of the unified logistic interface platform. The database platform, which integrates 34 logistic-related digital systems, including GST data across departments. Over 614 industry players have registered on the Unified Logistic Interface Platform. 106 private companies have signed non-disclosure agreement. Export-import, a comprehensive port connectivity plan was developed to address the last and the first mile infrastructure gap under it. Last mile infrastructure, first mile infrastructure, 60 projects of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways and 47 Ministry of Railways. Digitalization use of Unified Logistic Interface Platform. Okay, database platform, digital system including GST data, comprehensive port connectivity plan, state agreement to bring the holistic focus on logistics in public policy. And at a state level, state UTs are developing a state logistic plan aligned with National Logistic Plan. 22 states have notified the logistic plan issues and the grievance redressal. Each of the logistics service e-log portal. Ease of logistics service portal aim to use the technology platform to improve good governance. Ease of logistics service portal, good governance and stakeholder outreach in the logistics sector. Challenges in NLP. Fragmented logistics sector in India, lack of integrated digital logistics system in India, unorganized players control 90% of the market. Fragmented logistics sector in India. लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर इंडिया में कैसा है? फ्रैगमेंटेड. लैक ऑफ इंटीग्रेटेड डिजिटल लॉजिस्टिक सिस्टम. इंडिया में लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर कैसा है? फ्रैगमेंटेड. फ्रैगमेंटेड लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर इन इंडिया, लैक ऑफ इंटीग्रेटेड डिजिटल लॉजिस्टिक सिस्टम. लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर इंडिया में फ्रैगमेंटेड है, इंटीग्रेटेड नहीं है, unorganized player control 90% of the market, lack of logistic standardization result in difficulty in interoperability, it raises the handling risk, leads to delay. Standardization नहीं है तो logistic standardization difficulty, interoperability, handling risk है, leads to delays. Lack of skilled workforce in logistics sector. The logistics sector is a labor intensive sector that employs nearly 22 million people. Of this, only 4.7% are formally skilled. Lack of coordination between the state and logistics led to delay in the shipment and increased cost. Lack of acceptance of digital technology by transporters due to issues of digital literacy, anti-competitive practice by the transport union, limited alternative to first and the last mile connectivity. Way forward, implementation of the roadmap and the monitoring through a thorough study on the gap assessment across sectors and creation of a workable solution with regular monitoring. Addressing infrastructure and the procedural gap in India's export-import. Addressing infrastructural and procedural gap. Addressing infrastructure gap, procedural gap, India's export-import connectivity and create efficient and reliable logistic network. Improve regulatory interface to enable the seamlessness between the sector. Promote standardization. तो रेगुलेटरी इंटरफेस को इम्प्रूव करो, जैसे सीमलेसनेस हो, स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन हो, फॉर्मलाइजेशन, इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी. एड्रेस द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर गैप, प्रोसीजरल गैप इन एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट कनेक्टिविटी. एफिशिएंट एंड रिलायबल लॉजिस्टिक नेटवर्क होना चाहिए. इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ द रोड मैप एंड द मॉनिटरिंग थ्रू अ थॉरो स्टडी ऑन द गैप असेसमेंट अक्रॉस द सेक्टर्स एंड क्रिएशन ऑफ अ वर्केबल सोल्यूशन. रेगुलर मॉनिटरिंग. डेवलप sectoral plan for efficient aligned with the PM Gati Shakti for each sectors with underlying philosophies of interoperability, resilience, sustainability, seamlessness, standardization, formulation, interoperability. Better state engagement by providing support for the development of the state and city level logistic plans and set up institutional framework for the same. Role of the state in the logistic policy implementation. To create a very dedicated agency for the development of the logistic in the state, provide better coordination between the department for providing single window clearance, identify the local logistic infrastructure requirement for creating logistic zone, warehouses, expressways to achieve the last mile connectivity, to create a quality storage facilities according to landscape and the local industrial requirement, to provide impetus to the industries in the form of subsidies like capital interest subsidy, stamp duty subsidy, to integrate the quality data from various state master plan for better adoption and wider adoption of the logistic policy in between like PM Gati Shakti, to enable the area based development and for gap identification. एरिया बेस्ड डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए. गैप आइडेंटिफिकेशन, प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिंग एट द ग्रास रूट लेवल. इनलैंड वाटरवे. रिसेंटली द स्टैंडर्ड कमेटी ऑन ट्रांसपोर्ट Standard Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture summarized report. Transport, Tourism and Culture summarized report on development and expansion of the existing and the new national inland waterway. Existing and new national inland waterway. Inland water transport. Inland water transport IWT ये fuel efficient है, environment friendly, cost effective mode of transport. Fuel efficient है, environment friendly and cost effective mode of transport. India has about 14,500 km of navigable waterway comprising the river, canal, backwaters and the creek. As per the constitutional provision, only those waterways which are dedicated as national waterway come under the purview of the central government. As per the constitutional provision, only those waterways which are declared as national waterway come under the purview of the central government, while the rest of the waterways seem the purview of the respective state government. Inland Waterway Authority of India, headquarters is Noida, है Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, set up as a statutory body in 1986 under the Inland Waterway Authority of India Act 1985. It conducts the surveys, technical feasibility, economic feasibility for developing inland water transport mode, development and regulation of the national waterway for shipping and navigation, regulation of traffic, develop karo, regulate karo, and regulation of traffic coordination with other modes of the transport of the movement for movement on the inland national waterway. Assist and advise the central and state government on the matter relating to inland water transport. What is the importance? इंडिया में 14,500 किलोमीटर navigable waterway comprising river, canal, backwater and creek. Okay, importance of the inland water transport cost. The cost of the developing waterway is much lower than the rail and the road. IW inland water transport can reduce logistic cost, which amounts to approximately 13 to 40% of the can reduce logistic cost. Logistic cost कितनी है अभी 13 से 14% and global average 8% है. Okay, environment friendly, less fuel consumption per 10 kilometers, CO2 emission is 50%. That of truck. Safe mode for hazardous and the over-dimensional cargo. Strategic importance. The northeastern region, which is strategically and economically important, had to face connectivity hurdles with mainland India due to the poor condition for the roads. Every system offers natural navigation channel connecting the entire region. Freight cost अगर 1.36 है, हाईवे में 2.4050 है, रेलवे फिर हाईवे ये 1.06 है, इसमें 0.0048 लीटर, इसमें 0.031 रेलवे में बहुत कम हो गया, इसमें 0.0089 एनर्जी कंजम्पशन, व्हीकल ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट 0.843 है उसमें. ओके, स्ट्रैटेजिक इंपॉर्टेंस बता दिया. ठीक है, offers natural navigation channel, supplementary mode, reduces pressure on the road and rail, reduces congestion accident on the road. Tourism and recreation. Inland waterway can be used for the tourism and recreation, attract the tourists and generating income for the local community through activities such as boating, fishing and sightseeing. Boating, fishing, sightseeing issues associated with the development of IDD and availability of project. Of the 11 notified national waterway, 23 have been made operational. The development of the 63 national waterway is not being taken up to the financial constraint as well as the staffing constraint. Low level of investment compared to the road and rail. Key factors discourage the companies from shifting to inland waterway. The slow pace of development of waterway, poor hinterland connectivity, high vessel cost and equipment cost, least available depth. Maintaining a depth of the river which is navigable for vessel with a capacity of 1500 to 2000 ton is a challenge. Impact on the environment. While inland waterway have a low environmental impact during operation, their development alters the ecology of the river. Freight movement and waterway in India is having about 2% of the modal share, whereas USA stand at 4%. Netherlands, USA में inland waterway 4% है, Netherlands में 49% है, China 14, Vietnam 48, Netherlands 49, Vietnam 48. Okay. For instance, dredging and construction of national waterway and disrupt the activities of the gastric dolphin. तो environmental cost है. Ecology of the river. High cost of development of ancillary facilities like multimodal terminal, jetties, river information system, lack of conversion between IDT and the modes of transport. Conversions नहीं है. Recurring siltage and irregular siltation. Recurring siltage, irregular siltation, clearance of the cross structures and the bridges. Okay. National waterway 1 ये गंगा, भागीरथी, हुगली रिवर सिस्टम है, हल्दिया से इलाहाबाद है. नेशनल वाटरवे 2 ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर पे है, धुबरी से सादिया. नेशनल वाटर 3 ये वेस्ट कोस्ट कैनाल है, कोट्टापुरम से कोल्लम, चंपाकारा उद्योग मंडल कैनाल. नेशनल वाटर 4 कृष्णा रिवर पे है, विजयवाड़ा मुक्तियाला. नेशनल वाटर 5 Dhamro Paradio via Mangalagadi to Pankopal. What is the step taken for the inland water transport? Okay, not much. Okay. Step taken development national waterway for the development of the inland water transport. 111 waterway including the 5 existing 106 new 5 अभी हैं 106 और बनाना spread over the 24 state have been declared national waterway and the National Waterway Act 2016 111 इसमें से 5 हैं 106 नहीं बनाना है 24 स्टेट में. जलमार्ग विकास प्रोजेक्ट फॉर कैपेसिटी ऑगमेंटेशन ऑफ द नेविगेशन ऑफ नेटेड वाटरवे इज बीइंग इम्प्लीमेंटेड द टेक्निकल असिस्टेंस एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट सपोर्ट बाय द वर्ल्ड बैंक. जलमार्ग विकास प्रोजेक्ट वर्ल्ड बैंक इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है, टेक्निकल असिस्टेंस का इन्वेस्टमेंट देगा. रोल ऑन रोल ऑफ रोपैक्स रोल ऑन रोल ऑफ विद पैसेंजर फेरी सर्विस. roll on roll off with passengers ferry service command in various national waterways between the Niyamati and Kamalapuri Majuli Guwahati and North Guwahati. Revision of the levy and the collection of the fees including the proposal to waive waterway user charges initially for a period of 3 years. District solution for the ease of doing business such as cargo data portal is a web-based cargo data Cargo data portal. ये एक वेब बेस्ड पोर्टल फॉर कलेक्टिंग कंपाइलिंग देन एनालाइजिंग एंड डिसमिनेटिंग ऑल कार्गो एंड द क्रूज मूवमेंट डेटा ऑफ नेशनल वाटरवे टू द स्टेक होल्डर्स. पानी पोर्टल फॉर एसेट एंड नेविगेशन इंफॉर्मेशन इंटीग्रेट रिवर नेविगेशन एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन अ सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म. इंटीग्रेट रिवर नेविगेशन एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन अ सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म. पोर्टल फॉर एसेट एंड नेविगेशन इंफॉर्मेशन integrates river navigation and infrastructure information on a single platform. Enhance regional trade using IWT mode. Addition of new port of call and route in under Indo-Bangladesh protocol. Addition of new port of call and new routes in under Indo-Bangladesh protocol on inland water transit and trade. Stone exporters from Bhutan. They have identified inland waterway as an alternate mode of transportation. Inland water transport under Maritime India Vision 2023. The following focus areas have been identified in the vision: enhancement and development of infrastructure under 23 priority national waterways, development of the terminal infrastructure for RoRo and the कैसे RoRo और ferry service के लिए terminal infrastructure चाहिए. IWT under the Blue Economy Vision 2047 initiative under the vision are enhance the regional connectivity through waterway. Blue Economy Inland Water Transport Blue Economy 2047 enhance the regional connectivity through waterways with Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar and Bhutan known as Regional Waterway Grid. Through waterways with Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, Bhutan known as Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, Bhutan. तो नेपाल से भूटान, भूटान से बांग्लादेश, बांग्लादेश से म्यांमार known as regional waterway grid. Flagging of the world's longest river cruise M5 Ganga Vilas. Way forward. Financial engineering. Provide the financial incentive and subsidy to encourage the industry to shift their cargo transportation to inland waterway. Active involvement of the private sector in the inland waterway scheme is imperative to ensure the greater efficiency, competitiveness and attract higher investment. Efficiency, competitiveness, higher investment for infrastructure development. Inland Waterway Authority may ensure that the connectivity to rail, road and port be comprehensively dealt with in detail in project report DPR itself. The connectivity to rail, road and port comprehensively DPR detail project report itself. Research and development studies should be conducted to make an assessment of the impact of the increased inland water transport activities on aquamarine life. Increase inland water transport activity. Environmental consideration. Research and development studies should be conducted to make an assessment of the impact of the increased inland water transport activities on aquamarine life. Increase inland water transport activities on aquamarine life. Increase inland water transport activities. So we're going to make an assessment of the impact क्या होगा increase inland water transport activities on aquamarine life. Okay. International collaborate with the neighboring countries for the development of the transboundary waterway, facilitating regional trade and connectivity. The government should launch program to incentivize river cruise operators so that available potential can be fully realized. Promote river cruise. Financial incentive, public-private partnership, waterway connectivity detailed project report, environmental consideration, international collaboration, regional trade and connectivity, promote river cruise, MV Ganga Vilas, regional waterway grid, Blue Economy 2000, Blue Economy Vision 2047, Maritime India Vision 2023, 23 priority natural waterways. Okay, PM Vishwakarma scheme. Recently, the Prime Minister launched the PM Vishwakarma scheme for the traditional artisans and the crafts people on occasion of the Vishwakarma Jayanti. About PM Vishwakarma scheme, it envisages to provide end-to-end holistic support to the traditional artisans and craftspeople, scaling up their conventional production and services to enable the recognition of the artisan and craft person as Vishwakarmas, to provide incentives for digital transaction to increase the digital empowerment of the Vishwakarmas, to provide a platform for the brand promotion and the market linkage to help them access the new opportunities for their growth. It is a central sector scheme 2023-24 से 27-28 तक. Ministry of MSME schemes will be jointly administered because Ministry of MSME, the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Department of Financial Services and the Ministry of Finance, free of charge through the Common Service Center CSC, using a biometric based PM Vishwakarma portal. Artisan and craftspeople will be provided recognition through the PM Vishwakarma certificate and ID card. Strengthen and nurture the Guru Shishya Parampara of family based practice of traditional skill rolled out in rural and urban areas with a focus on saturating district in a phased manner. An artisan or craftsman working with the hands and tools and engaged in one of the recognized 18 family-based traditional trade with minimum age of 18 years. 18 traditional trade कौन सा है? Carpenter, सुथार, boat maker, armorer, blacksmith, लोहार, hammer and toolkit maker, locksmith, goldsmith, सुनार, blacksmith, लोहार, goldsmith, सुनार, potter, कुहार, sculptor, मूर्तिकार, स्टोन मेकर, कॉबलर, चर्मकार, शूस्मिथ, फुटवेयर आर्टिसन, मेसन इज राजमिस्त्री, बास्केट मैट, ब्रूम मेकर, कॉयर वेवर, डॉल मेकर एंड टॉय मेकर, बार्बर, नाई, गार्लैंड मेकर, मालाकार, वॉशरमैन, धोबी, टेलर, दर्जी, fishing net maker. Behavior should not have beneficiaries, they should not have availed loans under the small similar credit card scheme of the central government or the state government for self-employment business development like Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program PM Swanidhi Mudra in the past 5 years. Not have our loan. Government employee and their family members are not eligible. Benefit in the scheme shall be restricted to one member of the family. In the scheme, the family is defined as consisting of the husband, wife, and unmarried children. Required document: Aadhaar, mobile number, bank related ration card, scheduled lending institution, as scheduled commercial bank, regional rural bank, small finance bank, cooperative, NBFC, microfinance. National Committee for Marketing will provide the services as a quality certification, branding, promotion, e-commerce linkage, trade fairs, advertising, publicity, and other marketing activities. Cheap credit support will rejuvenate the sector. Rupees 1 lakh. First tranche for 18 credit support with credit support will rejuvenate the sector. Collateral free enterprise development loan rupees 1 lakh. First tranche for 18-month repayment and rupees 2 lakh. Second tranche for 30-month repayment and 5% to be charged from the beneficiary with interest subvention cap of 8%, 2% credit guarantee to be borne by the Government of India. Skill upgradation. Basic training of 5 to 7 days and advanced training of 15 days or more with a stipend of rupees 500 or per day, creating a holistic skill upgradation. Creating a holistic support ecosystem provides incentives for digital transaction marketing support. Liberal loan terms will help to develop a supporting digital transaction marketing support and liberal loan. Incentive for digital transaction ₹1 per transaction for maximum up to ₹100 transaction monthly. The scheme encapsulates the essence of preserving the heritage while embracing the progress. As per the census of the crafts conducted during the 7th plan period, there were more than 68.8 lakh craft persons in the country. Women 56%, socially and economic disadvantaged, SC, ST, OBC together to make up more than 72% account for a majority of the pool. Concern is available data on the crafts landscape is outdated and last census of the crafts were carried out during the 7th plan, which ended in 2007 plan में हुआ था. Okay, यहाँ पे लिखा है 7th plan period 68.8 lakh craft persons. 68.87 में हुआ था 2012. So there is a concern that the scheme may inherently reinforce the caste-based occupation, limiting the opportunities for community members to explore more lucrative professional. Non-recognition of Guru Master as a trainer. Under Guru Shishya Parampara, the master used to provide valuable training which he has learned from his experiences to a new employee. He remained unrecognized as formal training under the scheme. Low wages causing the gradual erosion of artisan communities. And due to poor market coverage and quality concern, product often gets lower price, causing the lack of economic viability for their output. National Handicraft Development Program by the Ministry of Textile will provide support to the Handicraft Cluster Center, an artisan comprehensive handicraft cluster development scheme by the Ministry of Textile. National Handicraft Development Board Comprehensive Handicraft Cluster Development Scheme which aims to mobilize the artisan into self-help group, thrift and career training of self-help group for community business enterprise. Pehchan scheme by the Ministry of Textile to provide a new identity to handicraft artisans so that the benefit of various schemes are provided to the deserving artisan. Other scheme upgrading the skills and the training in traditional art craft for development. Upgrading skill training in traditional art and craft for development schemes of fund for regeneration for the scheme of fund for regeneration of traditional industries etc. Standard and certification. It will help tackle the multiplicity of tariff barrier. एक होता है tariff barrier, एक होता है non-tariff barrier that impedes access to global market for traditional craft and help artisans better realize values for their work. It will help tackle the multiplicity of non-tariff barrier that impedes access to global market for traditional craft and help artisans realize better value for their work. Linking traditional artisan with modern technique can help open up new market both at home and abroad, much as it has done for the handloom sector. Linking traditional artisan with modern technique can help open new market both at home and abroad, much as done by the whole handloom sector. Addressing root cause, standards and certification. New market. Addressing root cause of poverty and inequality among artisan communities which has limited access to education, employment opportunities. News in short, the 4th G20 Sustainable Finance Working Group meeting. Okay, next topic में करते हैं हम लोग.